Good morning. 9:20, I think. Um, Can I ask Representative Boyd to lead us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, and welcome to Legislative Administration thank you for substituting. You are? Um, from what town? Keene. Did you drive from Keene?
I did.
Did you leave last night? I can't imagine, well, I was behind enough school buses and every other thing this morning that, and school buses and snowplows, or actually, backhoes were the rule this morning, so it took a lot longer, so I can't imagine from Keene. But thank you for coming today. What we're going, and we also have another substitute, Chairman Walsh, is, or just regular Rep Walsh today, I guess. Yeah, Rep is substituting for Representative Verville, right? Yeah. We are in a scheduled work session for our bills. We have only 5 of them left, I think, and then we're doing exec session. We've got 4 on the work session, and then we'll have 5 for the exec session, starting at 10. And hopefully in there we can do a quick caucus or something. That's my plan. The only other thing I want to do is make sure I can apologize in advance. I've got this tickle cough in my throat, and so occasionally in the middle of a sentence it comes popping out and I don't have any control over it. So I apologize in advance for everyone here. With that, I think what I'd like to do is start out with the 2 amendments that I've handed out. I'm not sure if Representative Walsh has them. I don't think so. All right, and you don't, right? There's those 2. And I'll open up the floor for any conversation or we're talking about an amendment to House Bill 1332. Actually, 2 amendments to House Bill 1332.
Can I ask one question?
Certainly. Representative Payer.
Thank you. I can't remember what happened with the amendment that Alice Wade, I think she passed it out last time. I don't know if we ended up talking about it. I can't remember.
Yes, I do recall, and the only thing I can recall, or that I think is what you're referring to, was the change, the last minute change she made to her original
Right.
amendment, and that changed it from on this on
Flying
at
it-
the State House to on the State House or something like that.
Yeah, it says bill mandates the flying of the Gold Star flag over the State House in Concord on the last Sunday in September.
Yes.
So I guess I don't remember if we did votes on this or not.
No.
We didn't. Okay, and did these 2 new amendments that you have include any of her stuff or no?
Yes, to a certain extent. And so let me explain
Okay.
what I have here, and that will come up in that conversation. So if I grab the shorter of the 2, which is 0857H, this is primarily Rep Wade's amendment as far as, except she had the governor shall choose to honor, and this says may, to honor the Gold Star families by ordering the Gold Star flag to be displayed on the grounds of the New Hampshire State House. I thought State House was one word. And at the New Hampshire State Veterans Cemetery in Boscawen on the day as described in paragraph 1. The flag, if displayed, shall be flown in the most junior order of precedence. The flag shall be provided at no cost to the state of New Hampshire. So we did some work. The only thing that I can, and I don't think I have hers available, but what we were trying to do was soften the mandate. Since this is in the governor, the section of this law is in the governor's list of proclamations. That was the word I was looking for. And what it just didn't seem to make sense for us to order the governor to do something that she or he has that ability to do as they go along. This is only saying, if you do that, you need to use this flag. That's all. Yep, Representative
And
Richards?
I think one of the other issues in discussion around the shall fly over also means then that once it goes over the State House, that then has every state agency needing to fly it. Is that correct in discussion? That's my understanding that came up, and that's my understanding also from my
I didn't like
I,
that.
I remember that coming up as a concept or a question. I have no confirmation of that from anything that I've read. Do you?
I don't.
I know that when the governor orders something over the State House, you would then find it happening also at liquor store and things. That the state will follow that.
Where is that written?
I am not sure. It may be in an administrative procedure in departments and not from law or the governor.
Yeah, I have not seen that anywhere, and I think I'm pretty confident that I've gone through everything. I've not seen that requirement. If anyone else knows anything about that, I'm happy to hear it, but I've not seen it. Representative Walsh.
Yeah, just a question. Would the order to lower flags half staff be different than flying a separate flag? Because that's the only time I've ever seen the governor order something that everything else does is half staff.
Yeah, I don't
That
know.
could be-
And it
that
may
could
be
what
that.
It may be that. Yeah, that could be
Right.
a good correction. Yeah.
I do know, well, let me, since this is a work session and less formal, I do know that when we were talking last term and we were working with the State Veterans Cemetery, it was necessary for us to have that language in here. And you would think, if what you were saying is true, that if you're flying it somewhere, it would automatically carry over to the Veterans Cemetery. But it was brought up at that time that we had to have the language for the Veterans Cemetery in there.
Is the Veteran Cemetery a state agency in the same way? Yeah.
It is to a certain extent because it comes through the National Guard.
Or if I didn't know if it was state
Yeah.
or federal, so the different, okay. But I think to your point on the half staff, I just know that that was a pause that was given in discussion on the shall and the over. And, cause I think Janet mentioned it and things like that. So I think on the grounds is definitely, something that could be actually very nice for the families, because there are some, other memorials on the grounds that could be, as appropriate for having a celebration and things. So
Agreed. Representative Payer, I didn't know if you had a question. You were, okay. Any other conversation about this one? Yeah?
Real quick, because I'm just seeing these now. What's the difference between these two amendments? What are they actually?
The second one I handed out?
Yeah.
Sure, we'll bring that into conversation. This is Amendment 885H. excuse me for the cough. This is merely or definitely, we've seen in, as I look through all of the other statutes throughout the country, we had a list from our researcher that showed what other states do. I went looking to try to find out how many utilized the Gold Star flag and how many were utilizing the other flag we had. And one of the things that came through in their language in other states, and I don't have a list of what those were, but there were quite a few states that authorized the displays at the State House. And one of the things that they pointed out was that the flags that were utilized were officially recognized by the United States federal government that are to be flown. So for purposes of this section, flags officially recognized by the United States federal government means only those flags that have been established by federal law, executive order, or official agency regulation. So it seemed that while we were doing the work in that section for this, I incorporated this, and you can see I put them in two different amendments purposely so that we can have the discussion in both. Excuse.
So the Gold Star flag is recognized by the
Yes,
state, right? I
yeah.
remember that. Okay, just wanted to confirm.
Yep. And that's the connection, basically. Further comments, questions? Representative Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Do you know if there's been any conversation about the federal government possibly recognizing the honor and remember flag?
I do know that why did you have to bring this up? I do know that
I won't say another word.
it's been attempted. Do you remember? It was either three or five. Remember, are in my memory that there were. It's been attempted three, and it has not proceeded through. And it seemingly has dropped the number of co-sponsors. Congress, occasionally you'll see, 400 co-sponsors. And then the next time there was, 15, and then it dropped to 3. So it's on a downward track. It's never made it out of the Congress as a officially recognized flag.
Thank you.
Yep. Nothing else? I don't know, and maybe you do, if Representative Wall had any other
I'm not aware.
comments or concerns on any of that. And we still don't know whether she's on her way or not, right?
Called and she didn't answer. So.
Well, that may mean she's in the car. Okay, well, if there's not any other comments on these two amendments or where we're going, we can move on to something else within the, yep. Representative
It
Richards.
feels a little redundant to say the governor may choose, and then the flag if displayed. So is if displayed needed? Because if she doesn't choose, there's no need for if displayed.
The governor may choose to, this is the
Or
first,
it's he or she, any governor.
what's that? Yeah, the governor may choose, does it?
The flag if right there.
I have a question for you too, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Hold on, let me read this more carefully. Governor may choose to honor Gold Star families by ordering the secretary. So you're saying the second sentence you think is redundant? Or-
Just the clause if displayed, because if the governor chooses, you could do it upon display. The flag
Okay.
shall be flown in the most
So you
junior.
think if displayed is not necessary? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I think it makes sense to me.
Okay. It just seems a little.
Although
further.
it's saying, the reason I would leave it in there is if you take it out, then it says the flag shall be flown in the most order, junior
You're
order of precedence.
concerned about the word shall.
Then it's somewhat ordering the flag to, and
Right.
then it would be kind of a conflict with the first sentence of may choose to honor
Yeah,
by
it just
order.
it just hit me as making it
No,
so
I get it.
optional. But would you be and the committee be amenable to say upon display the flag is to be flown in the junior order of precedence?
I would for the same reason. I think I don't see any reason, but
But
maybe,
you could just you could, I mean I could
Yeah.
be quibbling. It just hit me wrong.
okay.
I think it makes perfect sense.
Representative Nodder, you had a
Yeah, I had a question. Are we picking one or the other?
no. We can they're individual. You can we would have if we chose them both, we would have to merge them, have OLS merge them into one. That's all.
'Cause I prefer this one.
It's not a preference. It's a if you they're standalone amendments that both can be added. One can be added. Both can be added. Neither of them can be added. Got it. So, excuse me. Nothing else. We can move on to the next one. So we'll set that aside for now. If we go, well, I hate going to the HB 1097 because that's the one that I think, if I understood what Representative Wall was planning on doing when we left, was adding or changing the organization that they had oversight to the historical committee. Do you know if there's any difference? I wonder if her.
I was just thought, maybe I'll go look.
I wonder if her amendments are over at HCS. I wonder. Do you know? Okay. We'll take a quick look. That was my understanding, unless you had any other conversation with her about changing it to the historical committee versus fiscal committee, I think was on it before. But I don't know any other, so maybe maybe we should just wander from there. We'll see if it's here yet. Otherwise, I don't think that there's anything else I've heard.
So if she didn't do the amendment, can we just do a verbal one in mid, like?
What?
or no? I
I
usually
haven't-
never called her to the first time, so I'm kind of in the dark about what she intended to do.
So my thought would be if it's not there, that either, I do know she said she submitted it, but it had taken, she hadn't seen it at that point and it was like 2 weeks in.
Oh, that's right. That's right. She did. You're right. At the last house session, she told me she went and inquired and was told that they were backed up.
So we're left with either two, if she doesn't show today, we're left with either two possibilities. One is she looked at it and changed her mind, or, yep,
I spoke with Janet at the end of the last session, and she showed me the amendment, but there was a mistake in it, so she was going back down that day
Oh,
to have
that's
it corrected.
kiss of death. So,
She should have it.
did all it do, as far as you know, was change the,
Yeah, to the historic.
okay.
committee.
Well, so here's the options, I guess. Failing, well, assumption number one is we could always come back and just vote on that one again. We'd have to do that by probably Monday of next week. The other option is to pass it as we know the bill is written with the fiscal committee on it, and then know that we have the ability to change that when it gets to the Senate. and/or Janet could introduce a floor amendment to change it to historical committee. So those are the three options that I've come up with, unless anybody has anything else. I don't think that there was any other, I don't recall any other concerns with the bill other than that. Do you remember? Does anybody know of any?
I had concerns. Just the fact that this same bill was previously vetoed by Governor Sununu, that it was not in this, it was an executive branch issue, not legislative issue. It just seems a lot like, it just seems that if these historical commission exists and the DOT exists and these other mechanisms exist to put a marker out in the first place, that same group should be involved in the discussions and decisions about removing markers. I mean, I don't understand why, if the legislature isn't overseeing the putting out a marker, why are we overseeing taking away a marker? It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. Anyone else? My answer is they aren't overseeing it. And what they're overseeing is, as the testimony put forth, what they're overseeing is rewording and in some cases changing entirely history. So that's why there needs to be legislative oversight. We are hearing from a number of different municipalities, one being Marjorie Smith's Dover people, who were upset about the wording of the Oyster River massacre. The only reason the DOT is there, is listed, is because of the placement as it relates to the roads. They have no oversight when it comes to the language of it. So essentially, we have one agency holding all the cards. It's not the DOT and the department. So this would just make sure that there is public view and public comment available.
And what's the name? It's the, what's the name of the group that already exists in the legislature? What's the full name of that group?
In the legislature?
Yeah, the group that Janet's amendment was going to be
The
designated.
Historical Committee.
Historical Committee.
Now, the only question I have there is, I was hoping, one of the questions I had for Janet, who's on that committee, I don't know if their area of responsibility extends beyond the State House grounds. I was anxious to see the amendment to see if that is going to.
But that's no different than the Joint Legislative Fiscal Committee. You could just say ask the same question of them. That if they're, you know what I mean?
I do. I'm not. The fiscal, by the way, and I think this came up in during the executive session. The reason fiscal committee was mentioned was almost a default during the committee of conference with both the House and Senate, and they kept going through, or I was on that committee of conference. We kept going through different places, and the fiscal committee finally came down to the most logical of all the places that we had. Now we'll get our answers. Now.
Wore their seatbelts and stayed with the speed limit, we wouldn't get stuck behind car accidents.
I guess that's probably
I
true.
left home at 7:10 this morning,
See, that's what I thought you were gonna run into with Keene.
so I am sorry to all of you.
Well, no worries. Why don't you
We're glad you're here safely.
get yourself settled, and we're actually
Take
talking.
notes, I hope. Thank you.
We're talking about your amendment that none of us have seen, or I think,
I'm sorry, what? What?
We're talking about your amendment that none of
Oh,
us
on
have
your
seen.
bill? Okay, do you want me to say something? Okay.
You
Thank you
get
very much,
yourself settled.
everybody,
Don't,
and good
you don't
morning.
have to rush right
Um,
into it.
The amendment's a very simple amendment, and people often say that when it's not, but this one truly is. The committee agreed, and the prime sponsor agreed that we needed to change two particular words in here at the tail end of the bill that has us protecting historic road signs. Instead of going to the fiscal committee, we're now going to, if the committee approves, we will now have the bill go to the Joint Historic Committee, which seems to make more sense because they deal with issues like this. Thank you.
Do you have the amendment? Do you have the number and so we can,
Mm-hmm.
do you have the handout?
The amendment? We haven't seen the
I
amendment.
have the amendment.
Do we have copies of it?
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's right.
This is
Um,
your amendment.
The amendment is on House Bill, I can't read it without my glasses, 1332, and it's right at the bottom. You can see a lot of italics.
This isn't
Pardon?
your amendment.
Oh, you've changed it.
No, this is.
Representative Hill, you have changed the amendment?
No, Janet, no.
Janet, this is.
Okay,
this
bear
is
with
our-
me.
Yep.
This is the flag
Take your
bill.
time.
This is the flag.
Okay,
Do you have your amendment?
okay.
Do you have it?
Pardon?
Do you have a copy of it?
Karen has it. Karen has it. She said she'd hang on to everything till we came in.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to go down and get it?
No,
Okay.
no.
Karen has it. She
We'll
said she'd
need-
hang on till we came in. What it is, before everyone comes in, it's just in the very last line, and it looks like there are a lot of italics, but it's just copying the sentence that was in the original bill and then changing the fiscal committee to the Joint Historic Committee.
Okay. I have a
Thank you very
question.
much, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I have a question. Does the Joint Historic Committee have jurisdiction outside of? the
Well, it
state?
didn't used to have jurisdiction, but it does now because years ago we had something called the Heritage Collections Committee, which had oversight for all the historic sites and artifacts around the entire state, whereas the Joint Historic Committee only had jurisdiction over the State House complex. So after a decade or a little bit more, the two committees combined. The reason for that initially was because the Heritage Collection Committee had no money, and you can't really do much of anything without money. And the Joint Historic Committee gets a stipend every single year, an appropriation rather, every single year. It was 10,000, I think it's gone up a little bit. So, because the Heritage Collection Committee could make policy but couldn't do anything, the two committees combined, and now the Joint Historic Committee has exactly the same authority they had before, but they have combined it with oversight over the historic sites and artifacts and things around the state. So it seems to make sense to do it this way. And this is the kind of decision that the Joint Historic Committee now does make in terms of, how can I put it? Artifacts and items that we see around the state, not just at the State House complex. Thank you.
Is that, thank you, is that in statute, the combination and the,
Yes, it's all been, yeah, and it happened probably, well, it happened before COVID, I know that, so probably about 3 or 4 years even before that.
and it was changed in statute?
It's supposed to be in statute, and I've seen that they did combine everything. The two committees did blend. And there was a bill to do that, to combine the two, and the bill did pass.
Okay. Anyone else? Not hearing. Not hearing. Don't all rush. I can call you one at a time. Don't worry. It's called the Historical Commission. Is it?
Excuse me?
The New Hampshire Joint Historical Commission?
Yes. And I'll explain to members who might not know. The Joint Historic Committee is a committee made up of House members and Senate members, and that's why it's called joint. And they meet with some frequency occasionally, and sometimes they go a whole year with 1 or 2 meetings. But they've been meeting more frequently, and hopefully things will get done if this bill gets passed. Hopefully, some of the concerns that the public has regarding these historic signs will be addressed because some of these signs either have been removed or have just become controversial in terms of the language that's in them. Some people think that things are too narrow. Some people think that things are inaccurate. And for a little bit too long, it's been
the same group of people who have had oversight over these historic signs, and you've all read in the newspapers about some of the controversies we've had in the past 2 or 3 years. So hopefully this will start to get a lot in line in terms of having more, how can I say, more continuity in terms of how decisions are made and how things get accomplished in this state when it comes to historic items. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anyone?
I see it's RSA 17. Are you seeing that?
Yes. It does say,
Mr. Chairman?
yep,
I need to thank you for bringing the bill in because over on the seacoast, there's been a lot of commotion actually about these signs. And the general public over my way is really watching. So I thank you for bringing this in. Thank you.
thank you. It's so tiny.
Yeah, so tiny.
I'm trying to see outside.
I know Karen has it because I've seen it. And she asked what I wanted to do with it. I said, please hang on till we're
Oh,
here.
I'm sure Jennifer's making copies. I'm still trying to find,
Yeah.
it's to find
I can't tell you what year it
consultation with the
was.
Division of Historical Resources, Department of, actually, it does, read, if you can read 9 would be good.
Ah, thank you.
Yes.
It's just clarifying.
To be responsible for the placement of
Yes,
portraits,
this is it.
flags,
Thank you.
busts, statues, or other memorial objects within or on legislative facilities as defined by RSA 14-B in consultation with the Division of
Again, if I may,
Historical
Mr. Chairman,
Resources,
again, it's right. I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Department of Natural and Cultural Resources.
Of course, thank you. The only thing, the only thing I see here is that Legislative Historical Committee, this is the AI overview, is a standing joint committee of the General Court responsible for overseeing the preservation and management of historical items within the legislative chambers. Composed of leadership from both House and Senate, it directs the preservation of historical artifacts, portraits, and documents related to the state legislature. Not, yeah,
I see something different under 17-I:2, committee responsibilities. To provide guidelines to all branches of state government relative to acquisition, disposal, care, interpretation of historical, cultural, and artistic objects. To cooperate with other New Hampshire institutions and collecting agencies relative to the acquisition, disposal, care, and interpretation of historical, culture, and artistic objects.
does that say when it was last amended?
Effective September 2021, September 21 of 2021.
Okay, so that jives with what Representative Wall was saying as far as after COVID. We have a new guest, thank you. Representative Vale, Nashua,
Yes.
thank you for coming today and helping. Further comments?
Sounds like the right.
Anybody have
I agree.
questions about the amendment that we now have in front of us, which is 0503H?
Just to put a underline under that, that does include the word removal in that description from 2021, which we were talking about earlier, so it seems comprehensive. And then-
Does it include the word, aside from removal, does it include the word rewording or?
Interpretation
says
would,
interpretation.
would be involved in that, having run a National Historic Landmark myself.
Anyone else? So are we good with the amendment as far as we can tell?
I like it.
All right. We can move on from that, I guess. So we've gone through both um, 1097 and 1332. Unless you have comments on the, well, just to catch you up, both actually, Representative Wall and Representative Vale. There were two amendments on the Gold Star Mother's Day as well. I think you should have them. Okay. Yes. Yep.
I listened on YouTube so I would know what was going on before I got here.
You get a gold star for that. No, which has nothing to do with the Gold Star flag, but you get, thank you. Representative Wall.
Thank you very much. I'm not surprised to see this. There's been a lot of confusion and concern in recent years about what flags should be flying up on the dome or by the dome. And our current governor has said she will not fly any of the flags except the state flag, the POW flag, and the United States flag. And we talked with her last year about the Honor and Remember flag, and she said, no, there's a place for that, the Veterans Cemetery. And she was adamant about that. And other governors have expressed the same concern about how many flags we would have up on the dome. My personal belief is if you have a flag that's supposed to honor a particular segment of society or event, there are other places where these flags can get more attention than up on the dome. How many people are actually looking at the dome to see what flags are up there? And if a flag, I had suggested at one time, there's a flagpole. If you're inside the State House and you look diagonally to your right towards Main Street, there's a flagpole there that has a flag only once a year. I think it's for the anniversary of the founding of the Marines, something important like that. And if we have a flag that's down closer to where the general public can see it, people can make comments on it. You can have some type of ceremony or event around it so that people can get educated. Whereas if a flag is up on the State House dome, yes, that's quite an honor, that's for sure. But at the same time, where are the people going to gather to talk about it and learn about it, and how many people are actually going to do that? I really think if you want a flag to have attention, it should be where the general public can see it and talk about it and learn about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others?
Oh, and Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I also want to add, I was on the committee when it came to the POW flag way back when, and there was an awful lot of concern about hanging that up there, and everybody understood the very deep importance of that, and yet the concern was, should we have it up on the dome? And if I remember correctly, it wasn't until federally it was recognized, and around other states, the flags were being flown just underneath the U.S. flag, halfway down on the mast or on the flagpole. And that came to pass, and it's a very honorable location for it to be. But if we have another flag up there, are we going to need another flagpole? Where are we going to hang it? How are we going to hang it? And one of the concerns has been, how many flags can you have up there? So I believe in the general public getting involved, getting to know what the purpose of a flag is, and getting to be able to express their concerns or their joys or whatever that might be associated with such a flag. So I actually do support the current practice. Also, I can't help wondering, Mr. Chairman, or anyone on the committee, if we have a flag, another flag up on the dome or by the dome, does that mean all state buildings will have to have that? Because I know that federal buildings and state buildings now have a POW flag. So I wonder if that means all state and federal buildings. I don't know.
I will only say we had that conversation before you walked through the door. And I can't locate anywhere in statute or rules that state one translates to the other automatically. It would seem to me, and I don't see this anywhere in writing, that the governor in a proclamation would say, I want this and to be carried out through all the other flags through the through the state, but I don't, there's nothing that I can see that dictates or mandates anything.
Thank you very much. And again, I apologize for not having been part of that earlier discussion. And I respect the people who sponsored that particular bill, and I'm in favor of everything in it except for having it up on top of the State House. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Representative Nodder.
Thank you. I just wanted to add to your comments that the POW MIA issue is how I got my start in politics in the late 80s. I was a POW activist and a freelance writer, though I know a lot about the subject. So thank you for mentioning it.
Thank you. Representative Vale.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A long time ago, I somehow subscribed to the status of the flag, so I get this email saying what the instructions are for the flag from the governor's office whenever they decide to do something different with it.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
You can get on an email list where you get the flag status in an email whenever the flag status changes. And so over the years, I was listening to the discussion earlier about whether or not it's in statute how the governor directs the flag to be up or down. And it never occurred to me, but just for the purpose of informing the committee, you can get that flag status emailed to you, and it helps you understand a little bit more about what they typically give for instructions for the flag.
Well, again, I've never seen that. That must just be something that gets carried on from governor to governor, because I've not seen that as a requirement anywhere of having a notification. It just must be not a policy, even a procedure or something, kind of like what we do right now for signing online testimony. Yep.
In follow up to that, can I ask you, since you've been reading the emails, we had a discussion, is it typically the half-staff status that you see when you review those emails, or is it multiple flags?
It is typically the lowering of the flags. I assume that it would mean all of the flags, but it will say that the flags will be lowered to half-staff and the purpose of that lowering and who it's in honor of. So it's more like a press release, maybe, kind of just a short blurb saying that this flag status has changed from fully flying.
That is in statute, the part about the half-staff. It must just be that the email listing or notification of that must be just a governor process or something, I would think. Yep, Representative Richards.
I'm getting way deep into
Yeah,
flag.
I know.
Sorry. Is there any time, or had we discussed over the previous years when we've talked about flags, that there's like one or two other times that the flags on top of the State House change? Is that correct in my memory, that there's one
No.
other? No.
Oh, it's not correct in your memory. It's
Okay.
nothing we've talked about or heard about. so.
Okay, there was something in my memory that was like, there's one other time when the flag changes across the top. And that was when we had the presentation on how much room is on the flagpole. And not trying to not make that happen again. And all the challenges that came with
There
that.
is something that deals with the POW-MIA flag in that regard.
And okay, so
But
that's
that's
where
it.
it's coming from?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
All
so.
right, thank you.
Yeah, and just adding to what
Yeah.
you said, yeah, I think actually in legislation, it says exactly how far down the POW flag does fly. So you can't move it up and down. It's where it is. It's halfway down or something like that.
And it goes by the size as well.
Yes, yeah.
Of the flags, various flags. Brethren. I think we're all set. It's 10 o'clock. We typically would move out of work session into executive session. Do the Democrats want to have a quick caucus? And so we'll meet back here at 10:15?
Sure. Can I ask a quick question?
Yep.
Are there any more amendments that we need to be worried
No,
about?
not that I'm aware of. Are there any other? Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Will caucus here? Okay, we're back. 15 minutes late from what I said we would be, but we're back. I'm going to open the executive session, and I'm going to start with House Bill 1097 and recognize Representative Wall for a motion.
Are you asking for the amendment first?
I'm asking for a motion on the
Okay.
bill.
Yes, I'm asking that we adopt the amendment
No,
for.
no, no, I just want the bill ought to pass.
You want the bill? Okay. I'm offering for the bill, 1097 ought to pass.
Okay, thank you. Representative Wall moves ought to pass on House Bill 1097. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded.
O'Rourke.
Actually, no.
Because
in
I'm a
this
sub?
committee, right. Subs
Okay.
are not making motions or. So I need a second on ought to pass on 1097. Representative Nodder. And the bill's open for further amendment. Representative Wall, do you have an amendment?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I do have an amendment, and it's amendment number 0503H. And it's the amendment we discussed during our work session. And all the amendment does is change.
Hold on.
I'm sorry?
I'll get to you in a second.
Okay.
So there's a, Representative Wall moves amendment 2026-0305H. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Representative Payer. Representative Wall, would you like to speak to your amendment?
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. As we discussed in our work session, what we'll be changing will be in the last line of the bill, line number 12, and that will be changing from the approval of the from the fiscal committee to the joint legislative historic committee, which seems to be what makes most sense. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Wall. Representative Sheehan, would you like to speak to the amendment?
I missed who made the motion for the amendment.
Okay.
Anyone else like to speak to amendment 0503H to House Bill 1097? I will just make a quick comment. This is a continuation of the bill that we passed last year in the House and the Senate. It was then vetoed by then Governor Sununu. What it is doing is providing some legislative oversight for the historic preservation, historical markers that we have along New Hampshire's roads and highways, and there's been a number of different communities that have expressed concern up to outrage of how some of these have been modified or outright removed. So it would seem logical that there's be some legislative oversight, and purpose of the amendment is to ask the Joint Legislative Historical Committee to provide that oversight. Any further comments? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk, our replacement clerk for the day.
Are we voting on the amendment first?
We are voting on the amendment.
Okay, so we're voting ought to pass on amendment number 0503H. And the clerk votes yes. Representative Walsh,
Yes. Yes.
Representative Nodder,
Yes.
Representative Boyd,
Yes.
Representative Wall,
Yes.
Representative Richards,
Yes.
Representative Payor,
Yes.
Representative Vale,
Yes.
Representative O'Rourke,
Yes.
Chair.
Chair votes yes.
Great, 10-0.
With the vote 10-0, the amendment to House Bill 1097 passes. We now will move on to ought to pass as amended. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll when she's ready.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Walsh,
Yes.
Representative Nodder,
Yes.
Representative Boyd,
Yes.
Representative Wall,
Yes.
Representative Richards,
Yes.
Representative Payor,
Yes.
Representative Vale,
Yes.
Representative O'Rourke,
Yes.
Chair,
Chair votes yes.
10-0.
10-0. Any, thank you. Any objection to consent? Hearing none. Bill will be on consent. And I'll close the executive session on House Bill 1097. Now, we can move on to House Bill 1359, and I'll recognize Representative Payer for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion of ITL.
Representative Payer moves ITL on House Bill 1359. Is there a second? Representative Boyd says absolutely. As a second, did you get that? Representative Payer, would you like to speak to your motion?
I'd just like to say that we had a very robust discussion about this during the hearing period. There's a lot of concern about there only being one sponsor on this bill, and also concerns about the rules trying to be applied to adopting this at the town levels or city levels doesn't even apply to other associations that towns and even the legislature and belongs to. So for that reason, that we would like to ITL.
Thank you. Further discussion on House Bill 1359? Representative Nodder.
I'm not going to argue against the ITL, but I did write a minority report and I will be voting against it,
Right.
against the motion.
Thank you, Representative Nodder. Any further discussion? I will only suggest that while the bill is necessary, and this committee has indicated in the past a need for some type of oversight, which also leads to the second bill that we'll be taking up after this. Right now, it's premature, and we have recognized some of the current votes in the legislature, and we would like to hold off for right now on this legislation. So if there's no further discussion, I will ask the clerk to call the roll. We're doing ITL on House Bill 1359.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Walsh,
Yes.
Representative Nodder,
No.
Representative Boyd,
Yes.
Representative Wall,
Yes.
Representative Richards,
Yes.
Representative Payor,
Yes.
Representative Vale,
Yes.
Representative O'Rourke,
Yes.
Chair,
Chair votes yes.
9-1.
The vote is 9-1 for ITL on House Bill 1359. Did we have trying to remember? Oh, yeah, Representative Boyd seconded it. Is there any objections to consent?
No.
Will there be a minority report?
Yeah,
There will.
I already sent it to you.
Okay. Representative Nodder will do a minority report, but it will be on consent. Yeah, we can't. Right, right. So I caught that just a second before you did. Do you want it not to be on consent so that you can do a minority report?
Yes, because I would like.
Okay, it will not be on consent.
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
But I won't be fighting it on the House floor, so there won't be a debate.
great. Not consent. Okay, with that, I'll close the executive session on 1359. Move to House Bill 1360. Representative Payer, Would you like to make a motion?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I'd like to make a motion of ITL on 1360.
Representative Payer moves ITL on 1360. Is there a second? Representative Boyd. Representative Payer, would you like to speak to your motion?
Yes, thank you. I'd just like to say that one of the biggest concerns that I had with this bill that seems to be a large government overreach to manage a independent organization. We don't do that for a lot of other organizations, and NHMA already has oversight through the Secretary of State in following the lobbyist process that a bunch of other organizations do. So it just seems very also a contradiction, a conflict of interest, if you will, where NHMA is lobbying in the legislature, but they have to answer to the legislature. So it creates a weird conflict of interest, in my opinion. So those are my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further conversation? Representative Notter?
Again, I'll be voting against the ITL. I did write a minority report and sent it to you, but I won't be arguing it on the House floor.
Thank you. Any further conversation? I will simply add, for the same reason in the last bill, the bill is premature. It was filed in order to be somewhat of a placeholder, and as yet, the amendment to that bill is not yet ready, but it will be forthcoming. With that, I see no further conversation. I will ask the clerk to call a roll or ITL on House Bill 1360.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Walsh,
Yes?
Representative Nodder,
No.
Representative Boyd,
Yes.
Representative Wall,
Yes.
Representative Richards,
Yes.
Representative Payor,
Yes.
Representative Vale,
Yes.
Representative O'Rourke,
Yes.
Chair,
Chair votes yes.
9-1.
With the vote being 9-1 for ITL on House Bill 1360. For the same reasons, there will be a minority report, so the bill will not go on consent.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I didn't hear that. Is she doing a minority report?
She is doing a minority report. The bill will not be on consent. With that, I will move when the clerk is ready. And I'll close the executive session on 1360, open up the executive session on 1663, and recognize Representative Richards for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I make a motion of ITL on House Bill 1663.
Representative Richards moves ITL on 1663. Is there a second? Seconded by Representative Nodder. Representative Richards, would you like to speak to your motion?
Briefly, yes. I think we've seen this bill a couple of times. I think the intent on some of the sponsors was to have it function for employers similar to that of jury duty. However, in discussion with the Labor Department, it overreaches beyond that. So therefore, I made the motion for ITL.
Thank you, Representative Richards. Anyone else to speak on House Bill 1663? I will comment. Representative Richards was being kind, saying that we've seen this bill a couple of times. I think we've seen it more than a couple, and each time this committee has been consistent. I'm looking at one vote of 13-1. I'm looking at another one of 8-3. And it was tabled the last time at 265-85 in the House. So it's consistently been on the same side of the ledger for a lot of the same reasons. One of which I have is what Representative Rich spoke to. It's an awful difficult bill to make work, especially where there's a number of people within New Hampshire that are employed by out-of-state companies, out-of-country companies, and it would be difficult for that for an operation like that to follow this, this arcane, or actually just out of place state law. There's also a piece within our, I think it's within our ethics guidelines that doesn't allow state representatives to have benefits that are better than what the general public has. And you know, over the weekend, I was talking to a fellow who is an Olympic referee, and he's saying, you know, I accepted this after I was employed, but it really wasn't fair to my employer, where I would be away for 2 or 3 months, or every 2 or 3 months for a day, and it was something that he wasn't aware of when he hired me, but it did affect my my company, and so it's a similar situation that you know, you're asking an employer to accept your decision to become a state representative, and it's nothing that they have a say in, and yet we would be making them fall in line with your decision to become a state rep. So for that reason, I will agree with the maker of the motion to ITL. Seeing any further conversation, seeing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll on House Bill 1663. We're voting on ITL.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Walsh,
Yes.
Representative Nodder,
Yes.
Representative Boyd,
Yes.
Representative Wall,
Yes.
Representative Richards.
Yes.
Representative Payor,
Yes.
Representative Vale,
Yes.
Representative O'Rourke,
Yes.
Chair.
Chair needs a drink. Yes, chair votes yes.
10-0.
Vote is 10-0 on House Bill 1663 for ITL. Is there any objection to consent? Hearing none, that bill will be on consent. So I'll close the executive session on 1663. We have one left, and we're waiting. Okay. We'll be in recess for probably 10 minutes. What we're, just so you know, what we're waiting for is that the two amendments that we have, you can't submit two amendments in with the bill. And if we vote on these together, they need to be one number. It changes the numbers. So the two that we've written, those numbers go away and new numbers are created. So what we're waiting for is the merge number for those two, and then we can vote on the actual number and have it clean. So they're merging the language. We're in recess.
Okay. I'll leave that here and use the restroom.
Two? Oh, yeah. But there's not gonna be any, there won't be any conversation or discussion. We'll just be voices. Right. But there'll be voice votes. Me too.
Did you expect that?
Um,
I'm a little surprised, actually.
well,
But I understand. I do understand.
sometime we have to sit down, because I need to start explaining to you what's behind those two bills, and you cannot believe, you cannot believe. No, no, we got it. It's Yeah.
That's the microphone's wrong.
Yeah. There's, right now, in Washington, they have their own prison. But they are
They know there was a problem. Well, they have to file reports.
and they're
You know,
technically, the state doesn't have to. But, you know, she was talking about
Okay, I'll also need to know.
Okay, yeah.
it's not those same forms. Okay.
no, they have no,
And there's,
they have no power
so if somebody wanted to
for, for oversight.
anybody can do a family, so like when you get paid a lot, you wouldn't have to
So we have the new amended amendments, merged amendments. I'm going to pass them out, and if everyone will take a look and put another set of eyes on them other than mine, just to make sure that we're what we have seen. And then I'll open the exec session. How many do I have?
This is individual attention. One more. Thank you. Hey, and one more.
Sorry, I need one more.
One more. It always is one more. Sorry. All right, just take a minute or two and,
No, this is wrong.
what?
It's wrong.
Ah, it is wrong.
It's wrong.
Yeah. Get a minute? Back in recess. All right, we're coming out of our little self-imposed recess. I'm opening the executive session on House Bill 1332 and recognizing Representative Nodder for a motion
I move ought to pass, Mr. Chair.
on, Representative Nodder moves, House Bill 1332 ought to pass. Is there a second?
I second it.
Seconded by Representative Wall. The bill is open to further amendment. Recognize Representative Nodder for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move amendment number 2026-0896H.
Representative Nodder moves House Bill, House Amendment 2026-0896H. Is there a second? Seconded by Representative Wall. Representative Nodder, would you like to speak to your amendment?
Yes, it's kind of several amendments and work sessions and hearings all rolled into one. It's simplified. It's just that we honor the Gold Star families, and we recognize only officially recognized flags, but also gives the governor the option of displaying the Gold Star Mother flag if she wishes.
Great. Thank you very much. Further discussion on House Bill, we're on the amendment 0896H. I will, this has taken a life of its own, this Gold Star Mothers and Families Day, and the recognition of that. This seems to provide a combination, as Representative Nodder said, of a number of different amendments and methodologies, but it seems that we choose to honor the the governor may choose to honor the Gold Star families by ordering the Gold Star flag to be displayed on the grounds of the New Hampshire State House and at the New Hampshire State Veterans Cemetery in Bosquen on the day as described in paragraph 1, which is the last Sunday in September. The flag, if displayed, shall be flown in the most junior order of precedence. And paragraph 2, authorized displays at the State House, any state flag, the United States flag or POW flag purchased with state funds are displayed is existing law, shall be manufactured in the United States. Only those flags officially recognized by the United States federal government shall be flown on State House grounds. For purposes of this section, flags officially recognized by the United States federal government means only those flags that have been established by federal law, executive order, or official agency regulation. Before anybody asks, I will, someone did text me or send me an email, I guess, a question whether state flags are recognized, are included in that, and they are. So that's the end of my discussion. Are there any other comments, concerns? Representative Wall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm pleased to see this combined amendment. And again, it goes along with what I believe that these special meaningful flags should be shown or displayed at the State House somewhere rather than on a dome, so they get the appropriate attention and placement that they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comment? Seeing none, when the clerk's ready, I'll ask her to call the roll. We're voting on the amendment, 2026-0896H.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Walsh,
Yes.
Representative Nodder,
Yes.
Representative Boyd,
Yes.
Representative Wall,
Yes.
Representative Richards.
Yes.
Representative Payer,
Yes.
Representative Vale,
Yes.
Representative O'Rourke,
Yes.
Chair.
Chair votes yes.
10-0.
Amendment passes 10-0. We now are moved on to ought to pass as amended on House Bill 1332. Further discussion? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Walsh,
Yes.
Representative Nodder,
Yes.
Representative Boyd,
Yes.
Representative Wall,
Yes.
Representative Richards,
Yes.
Representative Payor,
Yes.
Representative Vale,
Yes.
Representative O'Rourke,
Yes.
The chair,
Chair votes yes.
10-0.
10-0. Anyone object to consent? Seeing none, House Bill 1332 will be placed on consent. With that, we have closed all of our bills for this half of the session. We're now going to jump into, I think the last day is March 5th, right? Is the last day to handle any of our House bills before crossover. So next we'll be waiting for all of the trials and tribulations of the Senate bills as they come in after that. I think we are now in recess. Thank you very much. Thank you to the substitutes for today. Couldn't have done it without you. Appreciate it very much. Well, wouldn't have been as much fun without you. Yeah, I think we could have. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.
I sent you an updated 911